7 o'clock. We'd like to call this June 24th Board of Supervisor meeting of Rye Township to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out this evening. If you could join us in a moment of silence, please. Okay, first item is approval of the minutes from the May 22nd Board of Supervisor meeting. I'm sorry. Oh, citizen participates, thank you, Sean. Yes, citizen participates, so this is for comments that are, comments on items that are on the agenda. Do we have any at this time? John Schulze.
Yeah, thank you. I see the RFP for the comprehensive plan is on the agenda. So I was looking for a comment there at saying that at the December 2024 meeting, supervisors approved the solicitor review the Picture Perry comprehensive plan. What were the findings from that review, and what justifications are there for Rye Township to spend the estimated $40,000+ to update our current comprehensive plan instead of going with the counties for free?
Okay, is that your only
Yeah, that's my question.
comment?
Yeah.
Okay. Review. Refresh my memory if, or did, I can't recall where we were at with that.
Well, the planning
what was
commission
that?
requested that the solicitor
Okay.
review it. I don't know how much that, but the,
Planning
Did we-
Commission has,
changed their tune, how's that?
Okay.
Yeah, what was a, if I may speak, what was a slight majority leaning towards the Picture Perry as the time has gone on, and I think some other people have done an investigation or whatever, and addressing John's comment about free. Well, you ever hear the saying about free is not always free?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's one of the things you're talking about with that thing. But it's been discussed or whatever, the planning commission, we think it's in the township's best interest to revamp what we already have in place. Because we have a comprehensive plan in place, it just needs updated. So that's the bottom line.
Okay.
So what was the reasoning to go with updating ours instead of going
Because
with
one
that
size does not fit all, John.
Okay, I didn't know if there was a
That's
detail
and
about it.
that's kind of like the underlying.
So there's no detail. Okay,
So,
no detail.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, John. Okay, that takes us, thank you for the comment and the follow-up on that. So that takes us to approval of the minutes. That was for the May 22nd Board of Supervisor meeting. I didn't have any corrections or comments to it. I'm okay with it. Are there comments, questions, requests for corrections?
Look fine to me.
Look fine. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Minutes from the May 22nd meeting are approved. That takes us to monthly municipal reports. So normally we go down through the list, but let's move E up because Kurt is on call and possibly may have to leave. So Kurt, if you would like to go.
Yeah, Daisy and I have been working back and forth with, actually Daisy's been working with the FCC on trying to get the necessary frequencies for the township. And Daisy, you can augment here if I get it wrong, but I believe that the bottom line is that there were some questions that came back from that licensure, or at least the submission,
right,
that we're discussing whether we need a repeater. Basically, the trucks would transmit to the office, and then for the office to be able to reach out someplace in the township. Moyer Communication wasn't sure that we would need a repeater or we wouldn't need a repeater. And I said, well, how do we know?
right.
And he said, the only way we're gonna know is to actually get the radios up and running and then we run around the township and
Check everything.
Check it out. I mean, it's real scientific. So, bottom line is, like Daisy was telling me before the meeting, is that the lady hasn't gotten back to her yet with the necessary, asking Daisy for the details that Daisy and I talked about to put in that submission.
There's like, I don't know, maybe 4 pages part of that submission, and we have them all done but one. And that's when she asked me, and I said, gosh, I can't answer that. I know that you mentioned it, I knew a little bit, but I didn't really know what to say. But I'll have to ask her if it would, if we can do that, come back later and amend it.
Yeah.
Or what her, I mean, she's very, very down to earth and very informed. I was surprised, and she's normally there, they're there till 6 o'clock, so maybe she was on vacation. I don't know what happened, but maybe she lost my number too, I don't know, but I'm gonna try to get back to her. And see if she'll, give me the answers I'm looking for. If not, like you said, if we run into a roadblock, but it's already out there on the site. So, I hate to disrupt that.
Start over.
Yeah, because someone else new getting in there doesn't have the credentials to get in, and,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'd like to try to finish with her, because I know she could get it done for us.
Yeah, once that's the piece that we're missing, once we get that piece, then we can take the
Right.
radios and everything from where.
And there may be a cost, depending on,
Yes,
the needs.
yes.
So. But I can do a check like that and get the guys in and, whatever. They've already said whatever we need, to get it.
Yeah, so we're kind of pending that baby getting back to Daisy, and then
Yeah.
we'll be under the little one.
I'll try to get hold of her before another holiday, which is next week, to see if I can,
Yeah.
get in touch with her before.
Okay.
Okay?
Jim did call me before the meeting and said that, I don't know if he's sick or not, but he did tell me that he would be able to come to see me. So
Okay.
that's why he's not here.
Okay. Is that it, Kurt?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay, that takes us to zoning code enforcement. So we have a report from JHA, 7 items, no invoice this month. And that'll be up here if anyone wishes to take a look. Sewage enforcement report, we did not receive one this month,
And no girls.
and no bills. Road report, Brad.
Mow along various township roads. Service tractor mower, what's his down again? Place 2A modified stone along the edge of the road at Mountain Road. Cleaned up down trees from high winds. Install stop sign at Idle and Lamb Gap roads. Installed that one. Take all the trucks for inspection. Install new Pine Hill Road sign, which was stolen.
Do they have theft deterrent fasteners on them, Brad?
What's that?
Do they put theft deterrent fasteners on them things? Or
I
not?
wish. And that's something.
While we're on the subject of tasks that the road crew takes care of for us, do you wanna, since you have more background on doing that function, would you mind reading through that, just maybe you can elaborate on some of the finer points? This is regarding the chipping that the township does, because it's been a little bit of a bone of contention. I don't know if you wanna elaborate on that, or I
Yeah,
was.
it is getting way out of hand. I wanna take you guys down and show you those piles down there, then I don't know what we're gonna do with that stuff. Accepting only tree limbs and branches up to 6 inches in diameter. Limbs must be at least 3 to 4 feet in length. Longer is better and safer. Green limbs is what we want. Not, they bring all dead stuff in, which breaks off, then you gotta try to get it back in again, then it breaks off, then you gotta try to get it back in again. And we get so much stuff that's contaminated with stuff, find all kinds of stuff in it. No old dead wood of any size, which we have a very big sign down there that says that. Guess what's all down there?
Whole bunch of dead wood.
Dead wood, yep. No small twigs or
Maybe they can't
branches,
read.
no roots, or root balls,
Handicapped.
no stumps, no lumber, landscape timbers. No tree branches with wire nails in them. No fencing, no vines, weeds, flowers, etc. No building materials, no shrubs, no small trees or brush trimmings and leaves, no wood that has poison ivy and poison oak on it. It's just, the wood chipping has become what the recycling used to be over here, okay? When we started the recycling over here, it worked so good. Everybody was really on it and they did a great job. The longer it went, the years with, there was anything and everything in there that completely destroyed it. So we took that away. That down there is so far out of hand, it's unreal. I mean, we don't have no place to put the stuff. I don't know what we're gonna do with it.
So would it be beneficial at all to have drop-off windows, not physical, but I mean a time period, where folks can bring stuff by and the road crew is here to
Look at it.
accept it or not? I'm just throwing these out there. I don't know how feasible that is, because again, we don't want to tie
Right, I mean, we only have two guys. I mean,
you know, and the reality of it is, I think most people, you know, they find a downed tree, they cut it up, they throw it in their truck, expecting, okay, I can take it over to the township. And then they're gonna get here and find out that, oh, it's, you know,
No, it's here.
we're supposed to call ahead, you know? So, I think that's the reality of it, but this is a recurring problem, so I don't know if we have some thoughts on, I mentioned burning it, I don't know how
Yeah.
feasible that is.
Yeah, that's,
I don't think that's gonna work.
Especially if
I'm
it's
for
poison,
burning
you
it.
don't burn it. Pardon?
I burn mine,
I know.
okay? It's like people during cleanup day. I've already asked people that I know, just for a joke, don't you have a match? You know, they bring a truckload of rotten wood. You know, I'm thinking, man, you could burn this up in 20 minutes. Okay?
Me and Johnny watched a guy one time, we were out riding, and we saw this guy cleaning up the woods in front of his house, okay? Guess where it all came?
Here.
In here.
Yeah.
All the rotten wood, everything came in here. Yep.
They bring it to cleanup day.
It's just
It's unbelievable.
So I'll say the concern is if we stop providing the service, and I get why, the problem is, where's it gonna end up? So there's that.
I don't know what Carroll Township, they don't have no shipping. I mean, they're a lot bigger than we are.
Could you put a sign on the gate explaining to them what you can take and what you can't?
We had one out there. We got one down there by the POW. They don't even listen to
So when
it.
they pull down there, they know what they have on the truck is either illegal or it,
Right, right.
if they're not illiterate.
Hey, Ray, what about one of those rotary cutters? It seemed like you dump anything in there and it just spits out sawdust.
Yeah,
Can you
Oh,
rent that
a
out?
mulch machine? kind of
Yeah, I
thing?
don't know if you can rent them or not.
yeah, I don't know.
But that would take care of all of this.
Yeah.
It would, it would actually take anything.
Yeah.
That's-
Well, yeah, Johnny was telling me, I hadn't thought of it, but when trees come in, they have vines in amongst them, that wraps around.
Oh, yeah.
Wraps around the rolls. And then
Really?
they got shrubbery down there.
Yeah.
And what it does, it wraps in the
Maybe
rolls.
clean up day or
Okay?
something.
Then you can't get it off the rolls.
Yeah.
It really
So
is.
then you gotta try to find
You want your
good,
shit to be
good
right in
stuff
there.
to get in there to try to get the
To
rolls.
get it out.
You know?
It's a pain in the butt. I mean, if you ever run that
It
thing, you
is.
can understand what I'm telling you.
Oh, no, I've run
The
one.
trailer load of
Hit the
stuff that they
Facebook
load
stuff,
with
hit
the
the
back.
back and all that, that's why I
It must
realized
have
it's
been
not,
out behind
it's
your
not a
box.
small issue.
And just
Yeah, it's-
hoses and wires
It's a problem.
and all that
It's a
shit, all
problem. We gotta do
and
something.
plastic, all wrapped together. It got pulls in with that, I don't know how.
The task to figure out.
I'm not trying to be a,
Well, I don't know what I would do with it. I would just.
I can tell you names of guys that do it, and they pull
Oh,
in,
no.
I
where's
walk
it gonna
away.
go? That's-
What happened to
Is it gonna be that hot?
Well, the
Checking
stuff that
vehicles.
we used to
Can't you turn
recycle
away?
over here, where did it go?
If they've got
Well,
the-
depends.
They don't put
Yeah,
it
but
on
a lot of them,
the road.
we don't turn
I mean,
very
that
many
one's on
people.
the old road.
Yeah.
But if you come in here with stuff like that with mud all over and it's all wrapped together, and you can tell they put it on there.
Yeah.
You're gonna get it on, because I
See, a
have.
lot of the bigger
But I
places,
come
they
in
have
here
like
last
purple
year,
stuff. They just
He
pick
had
it
a
up, the
pickup
backhoe
truck.
full.
They have a
Pieces of
And
concrete
then they
that
take it, they throw it right into
And he
the,
pulled up.
there's
and
no
he
man
stopped.
operating
And I
to
looked
put
at it,
it
and I
in.
walked over and he
And
goes,
then they grind it.
well, I guess I'm throwing this in the backhoe. I said, no, you're not.
We tried that, they don't
I
take
said,
it.
this isn't what we're throwing away.
See, that
I
bolt
said,
grinder
this is
stuff
the
like
deal.
when they,
Yeah,
Well,
when
that's
they-
what I told
they're
him. I said,
taking,
you have
like,
two options.
when they're
Okay? I said,
doing
you and your son can go over
clearing or
to that
whatever for like
dumpster over
roads
there
or stuff
that
like
they
that or
put
whatever,
in
a lot of times they
and
bring
empty
one of them
your
things
truck.
in, and then all the
I said,
trees
you
and
take
stuff,
it.
whatever that they take down from all that, they just drag it all to wherever that thing is, and then.
But they
when it
bring
goes,
all
sits there
kinds of
all day,
shit.
it just
Yep.
Keeps,
You know?
keeps loading all the stuff
Rotten
in.
boards that are
They
falling
load
apart when
chips
you're
or
picking up
whatever
those
else.
things.
Don't matter what you put in there.
Yeah, they'll,
They grind
yeah,
it.
they'll grind
You
anything.
know? I got a fire pit. I got a
They
big
share,
fire pit.
used to share that kind of
You know, I
stuff.
used to bring cardboard and all that shit out here. I don't do it.
Roof, siding, windows.
Yeah, I get trees, branches fall off my trees, I take them and move it out.
You have to take liability on that too.
Well, yeah.
What's the matter with that? Nothing. You know, the Indians
Oh, I think
did.
she lives in the.
You know,
That's
I
right.
do, I don't,
Okay, right.
yeah, I don't wanna, I wanna get rid of it.
Right.
You know, I don't wanna bring it out here and put it in a dumpster and then where the hell's it go from there, you know?
Because it breaks off, then you can't get it in. Then you gotta try it.
But we offer it to people, you know, come here and bring your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Slams down,
Yeah.
I gotta tell you what, I got a lot of good stuff down here.
Yeah.
I got a jack for a mower. Hey, I got a jack that you run the front wheels on it, and it's on an angle, okay?
You got here?
Yeah, and you pump it up, and it has lock on it, you know, and it won't fall
I don't
down.
know if they could take
And I
it.
saw it in the trailer, and I said to the guy, I said, are you throwing that away? Goddamn right I am. He said, I'm never working on my mower again. He said, it's 3 months old, you can have it.
That's a good one.
I said, okay, so I took it off. I set it off to the side, I went home, Googled it, see how much it was worth.
Yeah, I
It was
mean,
worth $367. Okay? The same guy had a brand, a wheelbarrow with paper on the tire. And he had backed in the garage and broke one of the arms. He threw that away. I grabbed that and set it off to the side, right? You know how much it cost me to fix that wheelbarrow? $18. I went down to Tractor Supply, bought another wooden arm, took the old one off they had broken. It still had the paper on the
That's
tire.
big time.
People are stupid. Yeah, they're just stupid.
They're the same people who are bringing that trash.
Like Forrest Gump said, stupid.
Yeah, I don't think you
like
can.
we have, but it's sensitive, I don't know how much they actually.
But there's some people that bring
I
stuff
mean, the
in.
thing's nice.
They are very, very.
Well, that's it, right, it's right,
How
right,
it
because you can
is.
just get rid of.
Yeah, you know, everything you open the back of a car,
We're just
an
getting stuff
SUV
that
or
we just
a
can't.
trailer, you pull up and everything
It's
is
almost like a compound.
in boxes or in bags or whatever. You know. Other people, they're just pigs.
I mean, unfortunately,
But they always
I
have.
think of it is,
But that we offer
They
the, we
want
offer
the
it, you
service,
know, hey, bring it in here.
but they
We'll take it.
destroy the service through the years, okay?
Yeah.
That's the way it works. It's a shame.
Is there some
Can't believe that
people,
lady died.
they bring it in, I
Yes, they
swear they
did, like
measure
these,
how
like
easy
these
it
two
is.
here. They bring
Last
in
time I
stuff.
saw her, it was in
Very
water.
nice.
But
Had something in it tonight.
Not everyone does that.
you remember when we had it over here?
I have
You ever talk to her?
Oh my gosh, it was so bad. Me and Sam, we were
She's a nice lady.
And then we come
That's
back.
seriously, she really was.
When it was over here. We
That's
found out
what I can't
that-
believe. My wife's gonna be
Do
really.
that blue.
So then we quit that over there and brought it to the. Then there was that big one.
Huh?
So the stone bin that we have out here,
Really?
we had one that was empty. We had another one, so we have it
Yeah, or something.
Pretty much, the people who live up where we live,
in there, so
they're
it's
pretty,
contained. And that way,
They're-
people
they're
drop
pretty,
stuff off,
uh,
it's on them, they chuck it
most
in
of them
there.
are-
We don't care if
I
that
would
stuff's
say
in
that-
it or whatever. I don't-
85 or 90%
Fishing
of
for
them live.
ideas.
Except the one about Choda's house. They bought that 2 years ago.
What do you think?
I wave at them every night.
I just can't picture the house right now.
2 years, they haven't
But
waved
anyway,
back.
you would.
Rust
I
don't burn
got
good.
a flag in my yard that I.
You need to start her, you need to sell her, you need to sell
They're
her.
coming down the hill and I know where
Rust
they
don't
are.
burn good.
I wave to
How
them,
big that
never
house,
wave.
so tiny.
Well,
But, okay, I'm gonna keep waving till you wave back.
I don't want to continue in the
or
problem.
that's the way to do it.
Back, but I don't know. Doesn't sound like we have it.
Somebody put
good solution.
Well, I
That's the
started
problem.
doing because I make good use of their.
Looks like my neighbor.
But
He
we
wants
have-
to go in the
Say it or
garage.
not.
Yeah.
His house.
But the guys get discouraged
These
because
guys
they
won't
keep
let it.
adding to the thing.
Is it different?
And
Listen,
we got.
with Dick Allen, there's no, Dick and Abel,
And you can't
I
just
worked
pay
on
for the
it.
cardboard.
There's a little thing in there that says, no, your garage has to be hooked to your house.
What we got.
Okay, it says there, all right? But if you have a house with a garage hooked to it, why does that mean you can't build another garage and put your overflow stuff in?
So.
It's pretty stupid.
No.
And they told him, so
No.
the code enforcement officer told him, he
My
said,
only
listen,
opinion
really, he said, you know, these other guys that have these garages, he said, technically, they could maybe,
Try that
make
for a while.
them, tear them garages down, they're gonna
Just done
sell
it.
the house.
See how it
I
goes.
said, that's the most idiotic, ludicrous thing I've ever heard in my life.
And you call and say, you come on, bring brush.
Okay?
And we're probably not allowed
Are
to
you
call it
shitting me?
anywhere to some
You're
open
kidding.
land space that somebody's willing to,
Right.
probably not legally.
After the meeting, I have a question.
Probably not a good
And you
idea.
have to have it tarped and all that stuff.
He's a nice guy, he's got a lot of cars though.
Well, so there's the other thing, folks, so
Moved into Pete Fitting's
don't
house.
bring it here. but down there.
The hell not, my granddaughter lived there.
The idle road.
My son bought it, and then he sold it to his daughter.
A year and a half.
Yeah.
And then he sold it to this guy. This guy paid $325,000 for
You
that.
don't know until you try. We got to
He
find
is,
something.
he has a wife and
We just
two
keep pushing
girls.
it.
He's just a great guy.
We're at the same spot.
He can fix any car.
Make a motion.
I don't care what it
Oh,
is.
is that where they went?
Huh?
Is that where it went for the drive?
I said to him, I said, you got the world, he just lost his job down at the steel mill, the rail mill.
Six months?
I don't have time.
And I said to him, I said, you really got the world beat.
Oh, yeah.
I said, you're allowed to have as many street rods as you want.
To get rid of.
I said, yeah, trophy wife that mows your grass.
Well, then
You know, that's what I said to him. And he just laughed. His daughter was with him, she says, I'm telling mom that.
So
Well,
far.
in that case, we'll just have folks put it out by
It's just
the
the
road.
way he is. He wanted a cruise and never got off the ship for 11 days. His wife got off the ship all the time.
Could do, but see
I
this.
said to him, what's the matter with you?
Yeah, that's
He says, I'm not going on them islands and let people abduct me and sell my,
Me and Toby.
Tell my vital organs, I said, what the hell is the matter with you? They're not gonna do that.
But it was at least.
His wife got off
It was
the ship.
stuff in the chip.
Yeah.
We were there for
Yeah.
days. I mean,
That's
I
when
brought.
Never got off the
Yeah,
ship.
when that
Yeah.
party.
6 months unless.
He's funny. He really is.
Yep, let's do that.
Special circumstances.
I'd have got off the ship,
You making a motion?
Yep.
but I can't get my wife to go on one. My wife will not fly on an
6
airplane.
month moratorium. Yeah, I'll
She will
second
not
it.
go on a cruise.
Okay.
I don't really have any desire to go on a cruise line anyway.
Just send it over.
That has not- I-
Yeah, 'cause it has,
Try.
I would love to fly to Scotland and play.
Okay, folks, we're
The
gonna move on.
a moratorium, does that mean I can't drop things off?
Correct.
Okay, that's- you're
Unfortunately.
closing it down for
Yeah.
sure. I just wanna make sure I
We're just
understood
getting
exactly
Yeah,
what.
let's give
If
a.
everybody was
let's give
like
a-
you guys, there wouldn't be a
month,
problem.
end
Then
of
we're
month,
getting bombarded with stuff. I
But-
don't,
Beginning
I know the last time we got, we
Yeah.
brought out, I know what
Yeah.
it looked like.
Drivers.
Yeah,
it's just got way out of hand.
But
Yeah,
thank
don't know
you.
what else to do about it.
the only caveat is if we have a
You're
storm
stopping
or
it for
something.
right now?
whatever,
For
that
6
would-
months.
that
For
would-
6 months?
If we do have a storm, there's we would probably open it up for people to be able to get rid
Okay.
of things.
I'll just bring it out and dump it in your front yard. I know where you live.
No, I know.
She knows.
No,
Oh,
that'll
geez. Okay,
maybe
folks.
open people's eyes.
All right, let's regroup here. So that
think
was,
so.
Eric, I'm sorry, that was item C for the road report.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rec board report. We,
Nancy is on vacation this
Nancy's
week.
on vacation, so we have no rec board report. Emergency management report we already received. Financial treasurer's report, please, Daisy.
General fund checking began with a balance May 1st of $439,314.86. Have receipts of $41,609.99. Expenditures of $57,102.54. Interest of $456.94, leaving us a balance June 1st, and the general checking of $424,279.25. There's a small checking account at Penny Inn. It had only a interest activity and had a balance June 1st of $2,311.59. American Rescue Plan funds had a balance May 1st of $231,018.48. Interest of $653.18, leaving us a balance June 1st for the American Rescue Plan funds of $231,671.66. The general savings account at Bank of Landisburg had only interest activity and had a balance June 1st of $2,531.24. Liquid Fuels checking account had only interest activity and had a balance June 1st of $95,081. Liquid Fuel savings account had only interest activity and had a balance June 1st of $2,715.90. And you will see next month that the highway aid CD did mature. I waited an extra week and got an extra $100 on it because we were getting 4.25%. But I did pull it over into the liquid fuels checking account so that that is done and that's ready for you to pay the bills when hopefully they do it. He told me he thought it would be after the 4th of July when they got us in the schedule, depending on the weather and how their schedule was flowing, so. That's all. Oh, on the check registers are the second quarter tax distributions for the fire, the library, and the ambulance associations. That's all I have.
Thank you, Daisy. Okay, that takes us to new business, and the big topic is secretary treasurer position, as Daisy is retiring. So we have received applications from 12, 15?
I think I have about 25.
25?
Some of them are qualified.
Or
Yeah.
local.
Yeah.
Or local. Yeah.
So,
It's
yeah,
good that they have
New
that
York
many
isn't
people.
okay.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I got one
Okay,
from the
folks,
Bronx.
so we can concentrate up here. So we've got someone that we spoke to in the last round of interviews. Don't want to give her full name out again just yet because we want to make the offer known to her and then get the acceptance so there's not an issue with a current employer, although in this case I don't believe she has one. So any comments before we make a motion? Okay, so we did speak with, I'll just use her first name, Tanya. It was last week.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, I'm losing track of time. Has experience already with 2 municipalities. Say definitely has the experience to be a walk-on for the job, for the most part. And so I will make a motion to hire Tanya at a salary of $65,000 a year. And she is available to start July 14th. July 14th.
Okay.
July 14th. So again, Tanya, 65,000, starting July 14th of this year. Do we have a second or comments?
I'll second.
Sean
Yeah,
second, all in
she's
favor?
more than,
Okay,
she's more than, she's one, actually, she's well qualified, we'll just leave it at that.
yeah, so I think when we spoke with her, we were all
Shocked.
very, very pleased, impressed.
He's very knowledgeable.
Very knowledgeable, very professional. So, okay, so then we have approval to hire her. I will reach out to her and let her know. So that handles that one.
And I have
Okay.
seen her at the different events.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
actually
You knew
know
of her,
her.
yeah, so it was goodness all around, so. Okay, well, that takes us to item B then, RFP for engineering services for the update to the comprehensive plan. You're on it, Sean.
We just, well, the board just needs to, approve Daisy to put together a RFP to go out to the various engineering firms for the engineering support for the new comp plan.
Okay.
That's, basically, in a nutshell, that's what it is.
Is that the motion?
Yes, I will make that motion, yes.
Okay, I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
And actually, it's on the agenda, they're gonna have to give me direction as to how to put that together, because it's not doing an entire plan, so they're gonna have to look through all the components and decide.
What we have to list,
they
what we have to
wanna focus
list, what we
more,
don't.
What your
yeah.
timeline is, you know, they need to get, I have no idea what they're thinking, 18 months, 12 months, I don't know.
But it's on the planning commission.
Yeah, it's on the
It's
planning
on our
commission to come
agenda.
through there, but you need the board approval.
To start, so.
okay. Well, they now have the approval.
Okay.
Staying on that. That takes us to announcements. So July 1st is the planning commission meeting right here at 7:30. July 4th, Friday, the office will be closed. There's no change in the weekly trash collection. July 20th is the Old Time Sunday Social from 6 to 7 p.m. at Bethel Church, and that is a rain or shine event. And then approval and payment of the bills, Daisy, please.
General fund checks 18321 to 18349 in the amount of $36,197.10. There were no expense checks voided. Payroll checks 8527 to 8530 in the amount of $4,790.76. Payroll checks 8531 to 8535 in the amount of $4,803.51. There were no payroll checks voided.
Okay. Make a vote. I'll make a motion to approve payment of the bills. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Brad, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Bills are approved to be paid. Thank you, Daisy. That takes us to the second portion of citizen participation. And John, you on here for the comp plan?
Yeah, I have one more question as a follow-up. Can you tell me how many times, since the last update, which was 1999 of the comp plan, that it was actually used by the planning commission? About how many times?
Don't know.
I couldn't give you an answer. Yeah, I couldn't give you a real answer on that, John,
I
but-
don't know.
Okay. Thank you.
Jackie, you're also on the list?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Okay, anyone else? Hearing none. Hey, it's a short meeting. I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Brad, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, folks, very much.